with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I did a gig last night at a bakery, a fully lit bakery. And I don't mean like lit, like that shit was lit. I mean all the lights were on in this fucking bakery. Like I knew it was going to be a bakery of some sort because the name of the fucking venue was Glenn's Bakehouse. But I didn't think it was going to be like an actual croissant fucking bakery. I thought Bakehouse could be like somewhere where people go to get cooked, and fucking Glenn was some fucking old hippie that just gets everyone fucking baked. But it turns out that Glenn's Bakehouse is an actual bakery, and I performed to two unsuspecting 20-year-old girls who were just in there to get a cake. That's what they said to me when I said, "What the fuck are you two still doing here? Why are you at this fucking show?" They were like, "We don't know. We were just in here to get a cake." But the room was fully lit, and I was standing in front of a microphone on the floor of this bakery speaking to 20-year-old female Indian art students, my fucking demographic. It's just amazing where comedy can take you. 1 minute you're performing in the corner of a bar to 4 people that are just eating Sizzler steaks, and the next thing you know, you're in a bakery on the floor performing to 2 people. It's just a fucking magical world of wonder comedy. I'm going back there I'm going back there tomorrow night as well. That's how fucked up comedians are. Instead of quitting, which is the only thing a sane, well-adjusted human being would do in a situation like that, just quit. Do something else with your life. Forget comedy even happened. Maybe like in 60 years, mention to your great-grandkids that you tried it a couple of times. That's what you should do. But instead of doing that, the mental illness, which is also the occupation of comedian, has you going back 2 days later to the exact same venue, to the exact same bakery, to do the exact same thing. Isn't that the definition of insanity? And it wasn't like it went well either. I just ended up having a chat to these 2 girls, which was almost creepy. I think I gave them some like life advice at the end because one of them was doing journalism at university, and I was telling them how journalism is just like a corrupted institution now, and I'm like, you have to get on Substack. And she was looking at me confused, and I was looking at me confused going, that's not really what I had planned to do tonight. That wasn't really like testing the new bits out. And the other thing was, I was standing directly in front of them. I was like half a meter away from them. And I was speaking into the microphone. And because the room was so fucking empty, there was just like this echoey, drony, bassy noise coming out of the fucking microphone. You could barely understand what the fuck I was saying. It just sounded like a murmur. Just a... How old are you? Just the fucking humiliation. That is all comedy is. But I'll be going back there Thursday. I would say 1% of that is for the comedy, and 99% of it is because the restaurant next door was fucking off its head. It was like an Arabic shawarma grilled fucking chicken place, and I couldn't fucking walk past it. The whole way in the Uber, and I'm going to have to do a whole episode just on how much I fucking hate Uber. But the whole way in the Uber, I was like mentally preparing myself. I was like, I'm not going to eat tonight. I've been eating like a fat cunt, and I'm starting to get jelly again. I'm not fucking eating. I've got some chewing gum, just chew on that. If I need to fill my stomach with something, I'll just drink some water. And I was 100% committed to that plan. And then I hopped out of the fucking Uber and smelt that charcoal fucking chicken. And I was like, fat cunt me up because I am getting some of that. And it was as good as it smelt. I got that fucking shawarma plate Just a pile of kebab chicken on the plate, a little bit of garlic sauce. They flung us a little bit of fucking bread too. Then I got half a fucking chicken, perfectly marinated, char-grilled. It was great. And then after that, I had to perform. Hey, girls. Hey, I'm a comedian. I'm from Australia. I'm not entirely sure what the fuck I'm doing in a bakery talking to you either. But here I am. Here I fucking am. Follow me on Instagram. It was brutal, but I've done so many of those fucked up gigs now that I've just got calluses. I'm like a fucking chef that can just pick up a frying pan. I don't even feel it. It just doesn't affect me. But instead of calluses on my fingers, the calluses are on my soul. My soul is just damaged. But anyway, that's the life of a comedian. Deal with it. It has been a while. I have been a seriously lazy cunt. But do you know what's coming back today? That's right. Boyle breaks history. Did anyone just go, yes, yes? Just one person. Yes, yes, it's back. I can't remember the last Boyle breaks history I did. I can't actually remember any of them. But I had to bring it back because we are in the middle of a conflict. And that's why this week's Boyle breaks history is the Ukraine and Russian war conflict. It's not war yet. It's possibly war. Now, I can tell you this. Before the 20 minutes of research I put into this, I knew nothing about Ukraine and Russia. Zero. I basically knew nothing about Ukraine at all, besides they have good boxers. Klitschko, fucking Lomachenko, fucking Usyk. They've got some of the best boxers. And I knew a little bit about Russia. I knew that fucking Putin fucking rules the joint with an iron fist. So I'm going to break it down for you. This is what the conflict is. You don't have to worry about any of the history. Don't fucking worry about that at all. If anyone's trying to sell you that shit, they're just selling you a decoy. It's basically got nothing to do with like the history of Russia and Ukraine. Yeah, they don't like each other. Yeah, the Russians have done some fucked up shit to the Ukrainians, the Cossacks. But this particular bullshit that's going down at the moment is almost entirely geographic. That's all it is. Geography and NATO. NATO is very important in this conflict. First, you got to know what NATO is. And I had no fucking idea this is what NATO is. But NATO is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It was created in 1949 by the United States, Canada, and several Western European nations to provide collective security against the Soviet Union. So it's basically the anti-Russia alliance. So it only had like 9 or 10 countries when it was created. Now NATO is an intergovernmental military alliance between 27 European countries, 2 North American countries, and 1 Eurasian country. I think that's Georgia. And their goal is still to deter Russia. So why this Ukraine shit is going down, basically, just look at a map. You can type this in. Type in NATO countries, and you'll see that pretty much every single country in Europe is part of NATO, and the Ukraine pretty much is just a buffer country between Russia and all the NATO countries in Europe. Geographically, Ukraine is pretty much the most important country for Russia and NATO. I think Ukraine want to join NATO, or they've been offered or some shit like that. And Ukraine is right on the Russian border. Not only that, it's also on the Black Sea, which is another strategic fucking, position for the fucking Russian Navy. So there's just no way Russia can really let Ukraine become part of NATO. Just strategically, they couldn't allow it because that whole border then becomes enemy territory, really. You can't let a fucking army build up on your border, especially an army that was put together specifically to fuck Russia up. But Ukraine is just the last fucking chip in this game. If you just look at a map, you'll understand. Just look at the NATO map. That's all you need to see. You don't need to go through fucking 14 hours of some cunt who fucking was like the ex-chief of staff or fucking any of that shit who will fucking tell you about the history of Ukraine and none of that. It's all bullshit. It's 100% geography and NATO. That's it. I don't even want to have a discussion about this anymore. But the history of Ukraine and Russia is very complex. It goes back almost millennia. Shut the fuck up, cunt. I've already sorted this out. Boyle Breaks History is taking care of the whole fucking subject. It's geographical and it's NATO. That's it. And they'll talk about like the gas line put in there. No, it's none of that shit. It's just Russia can't let Ukraine join NATO and then have that border and everything behind it, which is all of Europe, also be part of NATO. That is insanity. Russia has to do something. This is good. I'm back into the Boyle Breaks History rhythm. That's all you need to know about that situation. I'm telling you right now, don't dig any further. That's all you need to know. There's nothing else. It's not because the Vlad loves Ukraine. It's not because he feels like it belongs to Russia or anything like that. They'll probably tell you that, but it's not. Anyway, that's it for tonight. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around with your friends, and I'll see ya the fuck later.